Hey guys, Kevpert here. If you watched my recent videos, you might have noticed my mechanics have greatly improved. How? Well, in the last year, I developed a method to build advanced mechanics using a game-changing Bakkesmod plugin, Freeplay Checkpoint. It allows you to rewind and save snapshots in Freeplay. The shots I'm demonstrating here, dodge control, double flip resets, and so on, were developed using this tool. So if you're looking to hit shots like these and speed up your mechanical progress, you're in the right place. Let's check it out. So this is an example of what it looks like. I've just set up a double tap here, had a great first touch, but the finish was lacking quality. So I'm gonna rewind, save a checkpoint right after the first touch, just so I can work on the finish. This is revolutionary because when you're doing custom training or free play, you can repeat the setup, but you'll rarely replicate the first touch. And so you end up getting more reps of the setup rather than the end product, which is where all the difficulty is. So let's talk installation. Obviously, you'll need to be on PC for this, either Epic Games or Steam, and you must already have Bakkesmod. This is the plugin page, and all you have to do is click install with Bakkesmod, and it'll auto install for you. Then we'll hop into Freeplay, hit F2, go to the plugins tab, and go to Freeplay Checkpoint, and we're gonna map some buttons. So let's say I want to map triangle or Y to freeze. I'm going to hold triangle on my controller, then click the button with my mouse, and it should say Xbox type SY, meaning it mapped correctly. I'm going to change it back to X, which is what I had it on. But you're just going to do that for all 4 functions, and then you're all set. There are some cool variant settings you can adjust down below, and you can even have automatic shot resets when you score or the ball hits the ground. Pretty cool stuff, but that's something you can try it on your own. Of course, most of you won't be able to do this, but let's use an example of a double flip reset since there's multiple components. You have the first setup touch, you have the flight to the ball and getting the reset, you have the car control to get into position, dodge into the ball, finishing move. So how you learn something like this? Set a checkpoint before each part and then practice each part a ton. Easy, I'll demonstrate the method. First, I save the checkpoint on the ground, just so that I can work on the setup first touch on the wall. And I'm going to repeat until I get a good reset that I feel I can work off of. That looked like a good setup, so I'm going to save a checkpoint right after I jump off the wall, so I can work on my flight up to the ball and getting the reset. As you can see, this part is a little difficult for me, so the training is targeting the weak spot. Since you always have the same setup, you can be a little creative and try different things. You don't have to worry about wasting an amazing setup. Third, I'll set a checkpoint right after the reset, so that I'm working on the car control, getting the car in position, and dodging into the ball. This is a real weak point, and you can see the sheer quantity of repetitions I'm getting. It's super targeted training, and I'm going to improve very quickly as a result. So lastly, I'm going to save a checkpoint after the dodge into the ball to work on finishing moves. Once you have all your shots set up, that's where the fun begins. I'll be trying each of the checkpoints, getting some reps at each point, and then I'm going to move on to what I know I'm weakest at, the car control and dodge into the ball. For me, that targets my weakest area. This method of breaking down a mechanic into its component parts and then working on the hardest parts is extremely effective in developing your mechanics quickly. It's bite-sized, manageable chunks of work, and eventually you learn to string them together. It solves a huge problem in learning complex moves. Usually, by the time you get a flip reset, a second reset, you're so deep into uncharted territory and you have no idea what to do. So being able to get in lots of repetition of the later parts helps you prepare for that. Alright, so how do you apply those lessons to other techniques? Let's set up a redirect with Bakkesmod redirect plugin, and then go for a double tap. So double taps have only 2 components, the setup first touch, then the car control and the angled finish. So you can set a checkpoint before the first touch, And then as I'm doing here, you can set a checkpoint after the first touch to work on the car control in the finish. Right there. Let's do another example of dodge control off the wall. So I'm just gonna hit this ball up the wall. It's gonna bounce off, and I like that bounce. So after I do my mechanic here, and I have an idea of what I want to do, I'm going to rewind, and I'm gonna save it right after it comes off the wall. So this is my setup touch, and then I'm just gonna work on the dodge into the ball, and then trying to get the flip reset. And there we have it. We'll take a look at this dodge control touch here, because something really cool happened. I went for a normal dodge setup, but then I got a really weird flip reset and messed it up. But I had this feeling that I could have scored that, but I didn't know how at the time. So I rewinded, saved the checkpoint right after the reset, and tried to figure out how to score. After several reps, I figured out a semi-consistent method. I certainly had a weird setup, but lacked the improvisational skill in the moment to make it happen. Yet, I get to go back and try that spontaneous, improvisational moment again. As a result of the scenario that I accidentally created, I get a chance to improve my car control in a way that wouldn't normally happen. So if you do run into these moments where you have a weird touch, but you get that feeling you could have done something with it, lean into that. Go back, set a checkpoint, and experiment. As I wrap up this video, think about some other mechanics you can practice. It might be a wall stop, into dodge control, or it might be a breezy flick. Get creative. I'm really excited to see how you all improve from this.